Jesus spoke about fasting. In fact, one time when Jesus spoke, and I want you to remember this, he in Matthew chapter 6, he's speaking, he says there are three things that when you do, he told that part of the spiritual disciplines of a Christian is you give, you pray, and you fast. And Jesus, by the way, didn't say, if you feel like fast. He didn't say that. He assumed it as something that people do. He didn't say, if you feel like giving, give. If you feel like praying, then pray. If you feel like fasting, fast. He didn't say that. He said, whenever you do that. The only requirement that he said is don't do it for the praises of men. He said, I want you to do it for the praises of God. And he said, but when you fast, I want you to turn with me for a moment, and that way we begin the message that way. Matthew chapter 6, and just quickly turn there. Now I want you to take this message seriously. Some of the best, most wonderful results that your spiritual life could come as you understand this message. Don't just say, well, fasting's not for me. I want you to understand what God can do through fasting. In chapter 6, verse 1, he starts with this one thought. Beware of practicing your righteousness before men to be noticed by them. In other words, if you're fasting, really don't tell a lot of people. Don't tell anyone. Just do it. Otherwise, you have no reward with your Father who's in heaven. Then he goes on to talk about giving and praying. And in verse 16, he says, whenever you fast, do not put on a gloomy face, as the hypocrites do, the Pharisees. For they neglect their appearance so that they will be noticed by men when they are fasting. Truly I say to you, they have their reward in full. The Pharisees used to do that. They would go out in the days they were fasting, and they would not comb their hair. They would look horrible. They would not put ointment and like a face cream. And they would just go out and just let everybody know, I'm fasting today. And so Jesus is saying that. He says, don't do that. But in verse 17, but you, when you anoint your head, wash your face. But you, when you fast, anoint your head, wash your face, so that your fasting will not be noticed by men, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. In verse 16, he says, those who do it for the praise of men already have their reward. But those who do it in secret for their Father to notice, with genuine motives of fasting, the Father will reward you. I remember telling you in a recent message, maybe a few months ago, something I discovered about this. There's two different words for reward. In verse 16, it's the Greek word mistos, M-I-S-T-O-S. It's reward in English, but it's a different word. And it means immediate reward, expected payment, due right now. And the word really means payment in full. In other words, let me say this, yeah? The person who's fasting or praying to be noticed by man, what is he doing? He's saying, listen, Lord, I'm giving so that everyone will clap for me. I am praying so that everybody will clap for me. What is he looking for? He's looking for the praise of men. And Jesus says he has his reward right now, right then. What was his reward that he wanted? He wanted to be noticed by men. He got that. That's all the reward he'll get. But a man or woman who really will go to God, Jesus said, and will pray in secret, will fast in secret, will seek after God. He says, he uses another word, a Greek word. It's called apodidomai, and it means the reward will come step by step, like we said, like a dividend from a blue stocks, chip, Just that will come step by step. You keep on getting rewards as you fast and pray. That's what Jesus was saying. He said, I want you to pray. I want you to fast. Jesus did it. Paul did it. Now the question is, what really is fasting? And the answer to that is fasting. Most people think of fasting as, well, I won't eat for a day. And the word fasting does mean to cover your mouth in the Hebrew. It means not eating. But it doesn't just mean not eating. It doesn't mean just going hungry. It actually means this. It means that you are so in love with God. You are so desperate to see God bring breakthroughs in your particular situation that you voluntarily will abstain from food, and not just food, but recreation if necessary, family activities if necessary for the day or the 2 days or the 3 days, business ministry activities even, that you will voluntarily put them aside so that you can seek God's face in prayer. Fasting is never done without prayer. The purpose of fasting is to say, God, this is what I do. I know eating is great. You allowed us to eat. I know sleep is necessary and you allow us to sleep. You've given me a family. You've given me business. But there are times when I want to say, God, you are the first and most important person in my life. And I want to have time with you. And I want to renew my spiritual walk with you. And I'm going to put aside my sleep. And I'm going to put aside my food. And I'm going to put aside my recreation activities. And I'm going to do all of that because I'm going to seek your face in prayer. And I'm going to seek after you, God, because there are things in my spiritual life that I want happening. And we'll see what that really means. You say, because I love you and I want to put you first. And you say, couldn't you do that just in prayer? Yes, you could. But fasting brings a new dimension.